And welcome to part one, auditing your brand presence on Amazon. Today in this webinar, we're going to talk a little bit about what challenges you may face, common issues that we've seen across your submissions, and what you can do to improve your brand presence on Amazon, because it can be very difficult. We understand that. So today it's going to be myself, Beth Watson. I'm the head of marketplaces here at CSP. I've been here for over 4 years and I've helped build out the Amazon PPC and marketplace content team here. And Lauren is also with us. She's our marketplace brand specialist. You started with us last year, middle of last year. It's almost been a year now. I can't believe that.
I know, time has gone so quick.
It has. But yeah, over to you for a bit of an intro on yourself, Lauren.
Yep, not a problem. Just a little bit of background from me. I've just got over 7 years of experience working in digital marketing and just over 5 years of experience working on the different marketplaces such as Amazon and eBay. One of my favourite things about my role is getting to work and build relationships with some amazing clients and helping them grow their brand and expand their reach. I like to see their results not only as an achievement for them, but also for myself. And that's why I love the concept that CSP promotes. It's all about that shared success and working together.
Oh, thank you very much, Lauren. That's very sweet.
We'd just like to thank everyone who has submitted a product page or a storefront. We have assessed these submissions against 5 key areas using our 52-point checklist. We've used a scoring system based on the best practices for each section of the review. And these 5 areas include above the fold, which is the landing page of your product listing. Once the customer has clicked onto the listing, it's all about making the best first impression to help sell the product and introduce your branding. And then we've got reviews. And although this is not in your control, addressing common issues within your content can really help reduce blockers from the reviews and allows you to collect valuable feedback. And then moving on, we've got below the fold. This section of the listing is where you want to persuade your customers. They're already considering buying the product. Now you need to convince them on why they should choose you. Think about the story you want to tell, what information would be the most beneficial for the customer, and what cross-selling opportunities can you utilize. Next up is store pages. Stores are often overlooked on Amazon, but a well-optimized store can help your products perform better, improve SEO, complement ads, and build customer trust. Stores provide you with a great opportunity to talk about why your brand is important, allow you to showcase multiple products, and create a dynamic and seamless shopping experience for your customers. And finally, we have ads and brand presence. 47% of UK shoppers get their inspiration from Amazon. This is ahead of search engines at 32%. It has never been more important to get your brand in front of new customers, and that's why advertising provides a great opportunity to help achieve this goal. Top of search, brand, and display ads offer fantastic placements to help improve your brand visibility. We will talk more about how you can work to activate these changes in our second webinar of the series, and for the third, we'll look to leverage all of these points to accelerate your presence within Amazon. Now moving on to Beth, who will discuss the average scores from the submissions.
Thank you very much. So we've had a look through all of your submissions that you've been sending in. So thank you very much for that. We've kind of weighted an average across all of the submissions to really have a look at those key areas. So initially, we can immediately see that below the fold has a relatively low score. So it's 44% for above the fold, 19% for your reviews, 17% for your below the fold, 22% for your store pages, and 28% for your advertising presence. I'm sure, it's just figures on the screen right now. So we're going to go into what each of these scores mean in more detail as the webinar progresses. And we'll cover off any things that we think you can do to improve as well. I think the first thing I'm sure most of you have already had a look at this, but I think the first thing to really address when you're talking about brand on Amazon is going to be the brand registry.
Yes, definitely. If you have a brand on Amazon, you'd have most likely gone through the process of signing up through the Amazon Brand Registry website. But if you haven't, here are the key things to know. In order to register, you need a registered trademark and its registered number, an Amazon account, a list of product categories, and some basic company information. The main goal of Amazon Brand Registry is to help you protect your brand on Amazon, and by doing so, improve the end user experience. You'll also gain access to enhanced marketing features such as sponsored brand ads and an opportunity to build your own storefront. We have reviewed some stats from the recent published Amazon Brand Protection Report on the right here. As you can see, the number of bad actor attempts to create new selling accounts decreased from 6 million in 2020 down to 800,000 in 2022, and this continues to fall. Amazon scans over 8 billion listings a day to help identify any signs of potential abuse. 99% of listings that were considered fraudulent or infringing were proactively blocked before a brand ever had chance to find it and report it. And the number of infringements submitted by brands in the brand registry decreased by more than 35% from 2021 to 2022. This shows that the controls put in place to protect your brand are constantly improving year on year.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So some really key insights as to why that's important. I think looking at, the first stat that we had, which was a 44% content score for your above the fold, looking at your above the fold. So that's just everywhere on the Amazon page that's before when you scroll down, basically. And it's your first chance really to make an impression when users click onto your product page. You really want to build trust to encourage conversions and remove all blockers so it's really easy for potential customers to buy. Looking across all of our product submissions that we received, most of the title lengths were too short and some of the listings were lacking 5 bullet points. I think both of those points are quite similar in terms of what issue that can cause. And I think you're just limiting your organic SEO performance in doing so because you don't have as many positive key terms as you could have, as long as they're closely related and relevant to the product. It's really important to make sure that you have those key terms in there. And looking through all of the listings, I think less than half of them took advantage of Amazon's recommended 7 image slots, and only one of those had a video as well. So you don't want to kind of leave anything out with the images. You want to include size guides, as much information as possible, really, whatever that might look like. There was only a few of your listings leveraging FBA, so fulfillment by Amazon. That's also seller fulfilled Prime as well. And I think it's really important to take advantage of that metric on Amazon and making sure you've got that Prime badge, because a lot of shoppers on Amazon will just tick that button at the top left of the search just to only view Prime products. So if you don't have that, you're missing out on a lot of visibility there. And less than half of the listings were connected to the brand on the listing page. And it just makes it really difficult for shoppers to find your brand, find similar products as well on Amazon. It's already difficult for users to navigate, so might as well make it as easy as possible. Thinking about other audits that we've done for our customers, we have actually seen similar issues with the titles and bullet points. I think this is probably just because you'll be using similar content across multiple different marketplaces, and it's really important to use your search and key term research information to make sure that you do have it optimized for each platform that you're selling on. So for your title, I think aim for around 150 characters or more, just so then if you're hitting around that, you are getting in those relevant key terms. Your key terms need to accurately describe the product. It's really easy to want to include similar high traffic key terms, but if you do end up misleading the customer and they buy it by accident, it will give them a negative experience and it's likely going to lead to a negative review, which is just something that it's better to do without. Something else as well in terms of Amazon policy is the main image must be on a white background and only include one view of the product. Now, it's really tempting to not do that, but it just creates a better experience and it can help your product stand out in search. It just looks a lot cleaner. And then when you're looking to fill out the 7 recommended images, think of any feedback that you might have received from customers and address that in the gallery. So this can be things like measurements, sizing, any type of material that your product works with, or setup information. And, where can you get that feedback? The reviews are a really good tool to use for that. Questions and answers on Amazon as well. If you don't have a big presence on Amazon already, you can always take advantage of other marketplaces or platforms that you sell on, and any customers or inquiries that you might have received from your socials. So think about everything that you've received and think about any common issues, create a list, and then try and address those within your content on Amazon. And then looking now at below the fold, so this is your A+ content, your brand story, and optimization in this space is essential to help persuade customers that your product or your brand is right for them. So you really want to tell your story and address customer blockers here as well. This is really going to reduce negative reviews and any missed opportunities. So the common issues that we've seen across all product submissions is there's really limited investment in A+. Only one brand that we reviewed had a brand story and A+ content. I think, we've touched on this before, but making sure that you include A+ content, think about cross-selling tables, it's just going to help that customer take the next step and want to convert on your products or find a similar product that you sell that's better for them. So there's some results here from a test that we've done with some of the A+ we've created. So we measured over a 4-week period, and this was 2 weeks before the A+ went live and 2 weeks after, and this is without advertisements as well. So initial results for new A+ created by CSP has led on an average to an 8% increase in impressions, a 6% increase of page views, and a 25% increase in ordered product sales. And just to summarize, best practice and tips from us: make sure you include your branding. I know that sounds quite simple, but if you have inconsistent branding across your socials and your website and Amazon, it can make it difficult for the customer to feel secure that it is actually the brand that they're buying from. Make sure you have a main product showcase within the description as well. So that's the type of module that you can use just to help highlight what the product is and why they might want to buy it. And then decide if you're telling a story or discussing technical specifications as well. It's going to be different for every product and probably every brand too, but making sure that you can really get that across will help customers make that decision. And comparison charts as well. You want to keep people on your product pages, even if it's not a comparable product. Think complementary or similar, or even something that you think is related in as much as they could be interested in it. Get that within the comparison chart, because it just keeps shoppers on your products rather than clicking off and potentially purchasing from a competitor.
So the next part of the assessment, we looked at storefronts, and taking advantage of this feature allows you to have your own private website hosted on the UK's largest e-commerce platform. Amazon stores are great for allowing you to convey your brand story, connect to your customers, and showcase multiple products. After assessing the submissions against our storefront best practices, we generated a score of 22%. The reason for this score was that only 33% of submissions had an Amazon storefront. We also found that none of the storefronts had an About Us section or page, which is a missed opportunity for you to connect with your customers and increase that brand trust. A third of submissions featured products that were currently unavailable, which is a common problem we've seen across most of the audits we have done for other clients outside of the webinar too. And although 67% of submissions were using high quality images, none of the submissions had included any shoppable or dynamic creatives, which would really help improve that user experience. Kind of following on for this, some of the recommendation opportunities we think you can take advantage of would be always ensure you include your branding, always trying to emulate your website to help build that consistent brand presence across all platforms. Look to convey your brand story to help connect with your customers. Look at your customer feedback, very similar to what Beth said with the A+. See what your customer is saying, whether that's in your reviews, with your customer service, your social media channels, and kind of find out what information they're looking for more of, whether that's technical information, whether it's kind of like just how-to guides, and look to add this into your store as well, because it's not always about selling, it's also about providing some engaging content too. Shoppable images are a great way. They're very creative and interactive to just like to display your products and make it more, a better experience overall for the customer. And you also have the opportunity to add video creatives, which can help build more meaningful connections with your customers and like provide content that might engage them more rather than having to read through text blocks. We just wanted to share some of the results we've had with creating and launching storefronts for our clients. Comparing month-on-month data, again, very similar to the A+, it was a month from before the store went live and the month after, and again, without any advertisement included. Amazon stores created by CSP has led on average to an increase of 121% increase in store views, a 59% increase of store visits, and a 50% increase in total order product revenue. This just shows that stores provide a great opportunity to help boost your brand presence and lead to increased conversions. And then I think on the next slide, we've just provided examples of some of the storefronts that we've seen that we think take advantage of the best practices and, really utilising the modules that are available on the store build. As you can see on both examples, both brands have included shoppable images. But also kind of going back to the fact that we did mention a common issue is products being unavailable, and you can see that on the Wrangler. So even top brands still make these common mistakes. And our advice is, if you are going to include your best-selling products or key images within your banners on the homepage, always make sure that you've either got a good, stock inventory of that item, or if you do find yourself running low, maybe just swap the graphics over, just so that you don't provide any negative experience for the customer when they are looking through. Another key point about the stores is they're very easy to navigate. Everything's very clearly labelled, and they both provide search functions. I don't know if there's anything you want to add as well there, Beth?
Yeah, no, I just think, two really great examples here as you're going on and talking about the navigation is, shoppers on Amazon really want to get through to the purchase as quick as possible. So the easier and more consolidated you can make that navigation, or you can see here the category link tiles that these brands have used. It'll make it easier for that customer to convert. They're not going to find it overly complicated, and they're just going to click through and add to basket and then purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. And another point is obviously utilising lifestyle imagery is a really big plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. You really want to get that across, and don't be afraid to have fun with it as well. As you can see here, this is something that we worked on for a customer for Halloween, and it is really bright. It's really fun. Customers are going to click on it and they're going to have a good experience. They're going to see, what those products look like and how they could use it and see themselves with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And another good point is always making sure that you're keeping the store updated, whether that's, seasonal, holidays and everything else. It just kind of shows that, being very active within your marketing, and it will obviously create that better experience for the customers that are returning and, seeing the new updates. It'll just really help, especially repeat purchases from customers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now moving on to our final part of the assessment is advertising and brand presence. Advertising on Amazon is a fantastic way to reach more customers for your products and services. Amazon has a wide network of active customers who are constantly searching for a new product and brand each day. Through advertising, you'll be able to target specific audiences based on purchase history, search history, and in-market segments to help increase your brand's visibility. That, paired with its cost-effective pay-per-click model, makes it the ideal solution to help boost your sales. After reviewing the submissions and collating the data, we can see an average score of 28%. We generated this score as the data showed that only 37.5% of submissions were utilised in sponsored product ads, and only 12.5% of submissions had implemented sponsored brand ad campaigns. These figures are quite low, and there is a lot of potential to be taken advantage of here, especially with the ever-growing competition on Amazon, which is constantly increasing all the time. It's never been more important to try and get your listing in front of your customer, which is why we do highly recommend promoting your products for a variety of ad placements and campaigns. Some of the opportunities that advertising can offer for a brand is By implementing sponsored product ad campaigns, you'll be able to reach customers during their consideration phase. And looking at launching sponsored brand ad campaigns will also help improve your brand visibility and connect with shoppers during their brand awareness stage, which again is really tapping into them new audiences. This type of campaign works really well. We've had some great success launching these ads. And then finally, leveraging sponsored display campaigns can really help reach shoppers on and off Amazon to make sure you're reaching your audience wherever they are for a variety of targeting strategies such as product detail page views, audience types, and specific ASINs on Amazon. It is important to define your KPIs before you start so we can further develop a strategy which will deliver you the better market share at a cost of sale that is right for your budget. We will cover more of this in our next webinar, which will be part 2, Activate, and we'll touch on it in part 3, Accelerate 2. So kind of moving on, we've also tried to include some examples of some of the sponsored brand ads campaigns that we've seen. As you can see in the first image above of the shredded tissue paper, they've utilised using custom imagery in the first image, and they've also made sure that all stock is available for the free products that they're showcasing. Because in order to set up a sponsored brand ads, you do need to highlight select free products. I know that you can see on the example below that there is only 2 featured, but that's only when an ad is already live and an item goes out of stock. But as you can tell from the first ad, it definitely works in your favour to have products that are available. The ad looks so much better. It's so, it's a lot more appealing than the ad below. And it's just kind of obviously captures attention more, and using some like dynamic and lifestyle imagery within that is definitely going to make your mark, especially when you're competing with so many brands. And when you're in that top placement, you really want to be as eye-catching as possible, colourful, and obviously creative content will also help. I don't know if there's anything you want to add for this one, Beth.
Yeah, no, I was just going to touch on the custom creative. I think it's a really important feature, and it is one of the newer features on Amazon Ads. But I think it is really important, as you say, to stand out, but also help your customers see how they might use it themselves as well. So in this case, obviously for gifting and for packaging, there could be other use cases. So talking about like where it might look in the garden or what kind of machinery, how you would use that. And there's so many options. You don't have to just make this a really aesthetic lifestyle picture. You can also show use cases that help customers relate to it as well. And I think just making sure that you're checking in with your sponsored brand campaigns as well, because if you do have lines that frequently go out of stock, you want to make sure that you are updating those, because you're just not taking full advantage of that space. Wellpack, for example, they won that top position, but they're only showcasing 2 out of the 3 products, so it's just another missed opportunity there.
Definitely.
So I just want to say thank you very much for joining the Developing Your Brand session on this is the Amazon Part 1 audit. We hope you enjoyed the session. Your invitation to join the next webinar for the Amazon series, which is going to be Part 2 Activate, will be sent to you in the coming weeks. If you would like a platform performance audit, please contact hayley.barnes@cloudcommercegroup.com. quoting the discount code that we have at the end of this presentation. I'll pop that email address in chat now as well. I can see that error there, sorry. And for part 2, Activate, we're going to go over how to take everything we've learned in this audit to grow performance and create measurable results. That's going to be the sponsored product campaigns, store page insights, and dealing with competition. And then for part 3, Accelerate, now that you've got that solid foundation to build on, how can you reach the next level? We're going to talk about optimizing your advertising campaigns, brand ads and why it's important, display ads and where you can be seen, video ads, how that can help you grow your brand. And then we're also going to talk about some results that we've had through our ad campaigns for each of those different types of campaign as well. So definitely not one to miss there. And we're going to have a look at some of your listings now. So for this one, it's a customizable horoscope print. There's lots of information there. There's fantastic use of the character limits on Amazon. There is a longer title there, so you're taking advantage of better performance through organic SEO. all of the key terms used in the title look relevant to the product, which is brilliant. However, at the time of review, there wasn't any A+ on this listing or enhanced brand content, and that can be used to showcase different variations. You can also include lifestyle imagery, which you also don't really have in your gallery too, and you can use that to tell your story and include a cross-sales table as well to link to other products, just to help people convert if you do have other stocks. And as your product doesn't have any reviews, you can look into Amazon Vine if you're able to do so, and this can help build customer trust as well. I can see that within this image gallery, you've got a clear step-by-step guide. So that's going to help users convert because it makes the process of customization really understandable and easy. You've also got a really strong introduction to your brand through your description and the 5 bullet points. But I think key actions for this listing would be to build out lifestyle imagery to optimize your product image gallery. And you also want to use that to build out your enhanced brand content. I also think that you could review your brand registry connection as well, as at the time of review, it looked like the brand was listed as generic unbranded. I know this happens to a lot of people when they don't have a trademark, but they want to list. But as we've been over before, having that brand registry connection is really important. It gives you a lot more functionality on Amazon, such as the different types of advertising campaign and store pages, and potentially even A+ content as well. Again, not sure if this is an error or not. We need access to check in the back end, but from what we can see, that's the suggestions we would say.
Next up, we're going to look at the submission from Diablo Sugar Free Storefront, and thank you for that. We did a little bit of research, on your other platforms on your website too, and we can see that you're using fantastic, well-composed imagery on your site, and we can see that starting to come through on the Amazon store as well. However, there was a little bit of inconsistent brand messaging between some of the links that we saw, as one of the sites that we did click on featured your light cloud halo branding, whereas another section of the site and with your Amazon store, we can start to see, that darker tone theme coming through. So it's just kind of, making sure everything is consistent. Both are very strong brand messages, but it just needs to be consistent. So our initial thing would be to look at the Amazon store homepage. You could see to create, some category link pages. You have a great variety of products, a fantastic selection, and based on the images that we've seen on your site, we think you've got some really good creative dynamics that you could use on there to really make the site, stand out more, make it really engaging for the customer. And again, you could even look to add, shoppable images because of the, the variety of products that you do offer. This could be really good, to get people staying on the site for longer and clicking through. And you could also look to provide, some information, whether that's like recipe information, just, to keep it interesting for the customer. It's not always about the sell. Another point to point out is navigation is really clear. It's easy to move through to find what you're looking for. And one thing as well, all products are in stock. We can't currently see anything that's unavailable, which is fantastic because, like we said previously, unavailable items do seem to be a very common problem along a lot of the submissions that we've seen across some of the audits that we've conducted. So far, great job on doing that one, and making sure that they're only showing products that are available will only help improve the user experience. You have used a mix of text and images, which is really going to help improve that organic searchability on Amazon, as well as when you pair it with your, hopefully some sponsored brand ads would really give that a good boost. Just some of our recommendations we would say about building out the landing page, bring over some of the assets into your Amazon storefront, try to reduce the amount of shading within the images and really focus on showcasing the products. You can also obviously tap in and try and connect with your customers. As you can see, obviously in the main banner there, the products look fantastic. It's already making me hungry. And I think kind of using that to your advantage and including more images, that's really going to capture the attention of your customers and start, to create that hunger within them is only really going to help lead to more conversions going through. So definitely take advantage, obviously, of your amazing products and showcasing them throughout the site. I think that'll only benefit you. But overall, it's a very good, site, very good starting point. It's just kind of making it a bit more, buffing it out a little bit. But yeah, I think that's everything from me on the storefront.
Fantastic, thank you. And then having a look at this piece of A+ as well from one of the submissions, I can see that there's really strong imagery clearly displaying multiple angles and points of interest for the customer. This is really going to help reduce any questions that they might have about specific parts and any potential blockers to purchase as well if they're unsure if it's going to fit with what they need to use it for. And really strong orange branding as well, I'd say, across all of those images. However, there's just a couple of points that I think you can really do to help improve the customer experience. So the formatting on that module there, the product showcase module, it's I'd say try and make sure that that's aligned as best as you can for that module, and the amount of bullet points can be difficult to read. You want to try and make it as concise as possible for the customer to just really pull out those main points. At the time of the review, there's no brand story on this listing page as well, so you can talk a little bit more about your brand within your brand story. So instead of using that second module to talk about Winchmax, you can move that to your brand story, and it just gives you more modules to talk about your products and why customers should choose you. And again, also following on from that, the logo could be included in the first or second module as well, which would again free up a module to show the product in use, get some lifestyle imagery in there, or start to address customer questions. So you can see at the end of this listing on the bottom right here, the use of a cross sales table and the information on the related product types is used well. You also reminded the customer to not forget additional pieces that might be needed too, which is fantastic. However, for your cross-selling table, try and bring in products, as you have with the mounting plate, into the other product spaces. So, the Winchmax shackles, the snatch blocks, and the synthetic rope. Try and get those within the cross-sales table, just so you can make sure you're taking full advantage of that space instead of just putting all of the similar products. If someone's already searching for a Winchmax electric winch, getting that out there, instead of someone searching for that, you want to kind of introduce them to complementary products and try and get them to convert and stay within your brand as well. Making sure those links are clickable as well is going to help improve conversion for those products as well. So if everyone can start typing in the chat if you've got any questions for Q&A, we can get to that in just a second. I've just got a couple more slides to go over while you're typing in your questions, if that's okay. So this is just a brief service overview of everything that we offer within the marketplace team at CSP. So marketplace and audit performance review, I think we've already been over this, but again, we're going to look at those 5 key areas which we've discussed in this webinar, and just point out any key actions that we think you can take to improve your brand presence, or anything really that we spot as we're looking through it. We also help with product listing and optimization as well, so we'll advise you on best practices, along with reviewing your reviews, your content, and your data as well. So our team of specialists will assist in the upload by optimizing any of your product data and copy content, and will also help you make sure you're taking full advantage of that digital shelf space. Sponsored advertising, it's a bit of our bread and butter here at CSP. We manage, we create and work with the ongoing management of your sponsored products, brand, display, and video campaigns, and that targets the top of search, specific ASINs, product detail page views, and audience types as well. They're always introducing new features into specifically the brand and the display campaign. So, it's something that Amazon are really investing in at the moment and should be something that you're taking advantage of. We manage all across the EU, the US, APAC, and we also manage vendor and seller accounts as well. So there's no restrictions to to what we work with or in terms of experience that we've got within the team. Amazon DSP as well, that's the programmatic buying ads to reach new and existing audiences, both on and off Amazon. So that's any third-party owned and operated sites, as well as on Amazon itself as well. So it just helps you really connect with your shoppers wherever they are on the web. Store pages, as we've gone over a little bit in this webinar as well, we can help you build out dynamic and engaging store pages in line with Amazon best practices and your brand guidelines. This is going to help you create an interestingly and easily navigated store that's going to display your products, but also help shoppers understand more about your brand and why they should choose you. And then the brand or enhanced content, which is going to be your A+ content, premium A+ content, and your brand story as well. So that's going to help you make the most of your below the fold customer experience, and it's going to help customers with questions they may have or remove any blockers to purchase as well. We'll also include a cross-selling table where appropriate to help shoppers stay on your brand pages and find complementary products. And then for this final slide here, I just want to say thank you very much everyone who has been with this webinar and has submitted products. It's been a brilliant experience for both of us to get involved in. And if you would like to get a discounted platform performance audit where we'll have a look at several of your products and your brand on Amazon, then you can use this code, which is CSPC Amazon 23. And we're not going to send this out with the webinar slide, so make sure you take note of it now. And I am going to stop sharing the screen and we can go over to Q&A. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hi everybody, how are you doing? Just coming on here, it looks like we've just got one question here from Matt, so that's not a problem. So mentioning that we've helped with the imagery for the Halloween items, so how do you can take advantage of that? For that particular customer, they have a library of their product images. So what they did is we had a bit of a meeting where we talked about how they wanted to create that page. We shared some ideas with them as well of what we thought would work well. And then we took those raw images that we had of the products and the brief from the customer and spoke to our design team. And then using, it's a bit of a group effort from all sides there. So using that brief, the images, the design team came out with some ideas. We talked a little bit about it and how we wanted to go forwards and what direction we wanted to take, and then created a few examples for the customer to choose from, which they were happy with, and then we went live with the store on Amazon. So just ask. Definitely, if you're interested in anything like that, and you're already a customer, then speak to your account manager. Make sure that you flag it on your next call. We'll be mentioning it in the next calls over the next few weeks as well anyway. But also, if you're not currently a customer, speak to Hayley. I think we've got her email address in chat there. She'd be more than happy to help you out with it, with all of this, and kind of understand what's best for you, because I think taking advantage of those kind of custom images is really important, but it might be that we need to get some more foundations ready and in place before investing in that to give you the best return. So start that conversation and let's see what we can do with it. So that's what I would say for that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. I'm just going to stay on for a couple of more minutes just to see if we've got any other questions. If not, that'll just be it for this webinar. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, thank you for your time today.
Brilliant. I can't see any typos, so I think that might be it. If you've got any questions that you think of between, we got a typo. All good.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. If you think of anything between, the next time you speak to someone at CSP, just reach out to Hayley Barnes, or if you have an account manager or contact here at CSP, reach out to them. Thank you very much as well, Jay. And we'll be happy to help, and we'll talk to you a little bit about how we think we can help and what's best for you at whatever stage you're at for Amazon right now. But look forward to seeing you in part 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.